Welcome back to our MineColonies Heaven and Hell playthrough. Recently, we've unlocked our tier 4 builders, and we've made a pretty good start with upgrading some of our builds to tier 4. So today, we are just going to continue with that effort, and hopefully get a lot more buildings upgraded. Ava is still upgrading our Enchanters Hut to tier 2 at the moment. It is a fairly big build with all of the glasswork that is required for it, but she is just awaiting in some stripped oak logs and then she's going to be pretty much done with it. So I'm very happy just allowing our delivery system to get those items for her. And let's go over and check on Alia, who is upgrading our Dyers Hut to tier 2 at the moment. She is pretty much done with it, just awaiting in a few more banners from our Fletchers hut. So that's grand. I will just once again allow our delivery system to handle that for her. I had just seen that Andy had left her builder's hut and was over here upgrading a guards tower. So this is a new one that we have, which was only a tier 1 build, and I wanted to come out and fix this at some point. But that's good, Andy. I will get you out here and upgrading this to tier 2 next. Or she's going to start upgrading our bathhouse to tier 3, which really should be a job for Luella, but depending on what is required, I may just let her do that. The only thing here is the sheer amount of red concrete, which now that we have up our Dyers Hut alongside our concrete mixer's hut, that shouldn't be too difficult to do. So I will let Andy actually just do that build. Luella is over here upgrading a delivery man to tier 3. She has everything in apart from some oak signs. Which, give me a second, pal, and I will quickly make those for you. So I'm not sure which delivery man hut that she's upgrading at the moment. If I were to guess, it would be this one here in our Civic District. Looks to be. And what I might do is maybe place down a few more builds within our Civic District here as well today, just to slowly start fleshing it out a bit more. A lot of the builds are up to tier 3 at the moment, which is nice, and she will get them up to tier 4 at some point, but we could definitely be doing with a few more different type of builds in here, I think. In particular with our educational district actually, because I really need to get up our library at some point, as well as place down a school. Okay, I may come onto that as well today actually. For now though, Cyrus, what are you getting up to? We are upgrading the Fletcher's hut, which may explain why we're not actually getting these banners out. So that's fine, we are just waiting in a few more items for him as well, which are on our open request list actually. The crossed spruce oak timber frames should be being made by our sawmill operator. Maybe not actually, because I believe he only knows how to make these paper timber frames. Alright then, let's quickly teach him that, which we should only have to teach him the vertical oak spruce timber frame recipe, which is very simple here. So that should be everything that he now needs to know in order to make those further ones. Unless of course I choose the wrong recipe and it's actually the vertical spruce oak timber frames, not oak spruce timber frames, but regardless, that's done. And also that's our delivery man done by Luella, who doesn't seem to have picked up any other work order, which is probably a good thing because that means that she has a clean slate and can maybe upgrade or construct any other builds that I tell her to. Okay, maybe we will get that library up today, but Harry, you need to make these things for Cyrus there, otherwise he can't continue. I'm not really sure what's happening here with this white banner being made by our Fletcher. Thank you, Alia, for upgrading our dyer there. But this recipe is calling for 18 white wool, which is fine. We have our shepherd for that. But they are wanting 18 grey wool, which says to me that our dyer has been taught a weird way how to turn grey wool into white wool, rather than just taking white wool to begin with. Alia, I may get you back out here and upgrading this to tier 3 by the way. Nope, that is not the case here, so I'm really not sure why he is requesting some grey wool in. I'm going to cancel that and see what he picks up next. That's interesting, I'm not quite sure why they're asking for grey wool. Right then Luella, let's get you busy here. Where is our library's building hut? Where is it, he asks. Right, well, we will get Luella then making this for us, so that'll be good. I'm just going to trust that I have put this into a good place. Probably. But if you have a clean work slate, then what I'm going to do is get you coming around and upgrading a lot more builds here. You can do the florist too. And we will upgrade a lot of these builds to tier 4. Apart from our mystical pagoda, which I believe can only get to tier 3, it's tier 2 at the moment, but the mystical site inside of it, I think is only tier 1. Yes, mystical site 1. So this build is really needing to be upgraded. Okay, well, from having nothing to do, Luella, you're going to be very, very busy today. And what I'm going to do as well is place down a few more decorations. Although this does look like a citizen's house, it is actually just a decoration, of which we have a few different choices of decorations, just with some different slates on top, but I think we could maybe put down a few of these different type of builds, again just to flush out our Civic District. I quite like these little builds actually, they're very, very small and shouldn't take too long for them to build. I might place a few of these down. And I suppose it's time that we upgrade the best build within our colony, our taverns. Now I've been putting these off for quite some time, but let's actually upgrade these builds now that we have the materials required for them. So I believe that's all of our builders in heaven now set up with everything that they need to get on with. There is nothing in the open requests, and I am just going to trust that they are getting on with things. So let's head over to hell and see how we're getting on over there. Kareen is still upgrading our university to tier 4, but this is a monstrous upgrade. The amount of items going towards it is actually ridiculous. So that is definitely going to take quite some time for her to do, and I will assist wherever I can. I had just seen that Charlie had upgraded our Glassblowers hut there, and she has moved on to make our greenhouse apiary, which is a new build that I'm going to have constructed just there, because I have seen that our bees aren't too happy with living down here in hell. And I have no idea why that is the case. This is a perfectly wonderful place to live in. Nothing deadly about it at all. We do have some bees here, but the vast majority of them I think have flown away or have been killed by mobs. So we are going to make a enclosed apiary just here, and that should hopefully keep them and keep them happy. Bernard is actually upgrading our apiary at the moment, and that is Ernesto just finished a tier 3 deliveryman's hut. But Bernard is requiring honey blocks in order to finish, which, having a lack of bees, is not helping on that front. So until we do get up our new apiary hut, I think I will cancel that build at the moment and get him upgrading some of these other builds to tier 4 first. So he has now moved on to upgrade our deliveryman hut to tier 4, and there's a few interesting blocks here required for it. But again, I will just let him get on with that and will assist in any way that I can whenever he requests anything. Speaking of requests, we have quite a lot on our open request list. We need in a lot of wheat, which will come from our farmers, as well as some beetroots in order to make red dyes, which again is a farmer related item. And I'm not sure if our farmers actually grow any beetroot. We have pumpkins for days, melons for days, and what else? Wheat. And our other farm is doing carrots, wheat, potatoes, and that is it. So it looks as if we may need to put a priority in upgrading our farmers' huts here to tier 4 first, so that they can also then start growing some beetroot for us. I suppose I could also teach our dyer how to turn poppies into red dye so that we don't just need to rely on beetroots, which we can pretty much now consider that as done. Although that will require our florist actually making the poppies for us to begin with, which, seeing as Barrett is just standing around doing nothing, we might be better off just waiting on beetroots. Dean here is upgrading our Fletchers hut to tier 3 at the moment, but he is requesting in free cobwebs, which is probably the most irritating request I think anyone has ever asked of me, Dean. Where the hell am I going to get that from? By the looks of it, I can't actually make them, so I am going to have to head out exploring to find them. I'm going to cancel your build at the moment, and you can go move on to something else, because I can't be bothered. Bloody cobwebs, can't even ask me for something that I can get him here in hell. Ernesto is upgrading our Swine Herder's hut to tier 4, which is grand. He's nearly 90% supplied, just awaiting in some dead bubble coral fans, which is an interesting request, and I will need to go back to heaven to get him those, as well as some more prismarine for Bernard by the looks of it. Dean has more sensibly picked up a dyer at tier 2, so everything there looks absolutely fine, so I'm more than happy letting him get on with that. And I think in the meantime then, I'm going to pop back over to heaven and get them a few of these different coral items. Well, just after we come and upgrade our favourite build. I can see that Ava is nearly done with her Enchanter's hut. That has been an awful lot that she's had to put into that, but she's going to be going straight back out to it to upgrade it to tier 3 once she's done, so you better get your finger out there, Ava. Elia is upgrading our Dyers hut to tier 3 and is requesting in a lot of different coloured banners, but that's fine, we can go very quickly teach those to the Fletcher. The only problem that I have now is that I'll need to go to the Dyers hut to teach them how to make all of these different coloured wools. And the dyer now knows how to make all of those different coloured wools. All that I need to do is teach him how to make some lime dye. Which, there's the recipe for it there, son, so you get on with all of those so that Elia can upgrade your hut. I can't for the life of me remember what type of coral items that Hell is asking for, so it's a quick trip to the ocean just to grab them as much as I can. Which, to be fair, I really don't mind doing this at all. There is something quite chill about just coming here and destroying an ecosystem. And I also can't remember what type of dead coral that they're asking for, so let's just dry out a few of them here. And then we'll fire them all off straight over to hell. In our open request system here in heaven, we have up our orange banner still, which is due to having white wool, which they're still requesting this grey wool in for. As far as I can see, there is no recipe here within our dyer that is calling for grey wool, so I am very confused about this. And I can't see any recipe here inside our Fletcher's hut as to why they would be asking for that rather than just white wool here either. Unless there's an issue out at our shepherd's hut. I mean, not having in any sheep probably doesn't help, and I seen that was Ava just completed our Enchanters hut there, which is nice. But yes, you do not have any sheep at the moment, Joanna. Is that what's causing the issue? That is because our sheep have escaped and have come elsewhere. Ooh, Ava has picked up the tavern. Well, I will bring you back some more sheep then, Joanna, and hopefully that will take care of things. Otherwise, I think you might be dyeing some cows. Anyway, hello Ava. How can I assist with the tavern? You are wanting some horizontal barrels as well as some vertical barrels. That's absolutely fine. And the rest of the open request list is just all of this coloured wool nonsense, which we will fix at some point. But the barrels are nice and easy, seeing as it's something that our sawmill operator can learn. And that was our delivery man just delivering those barrels to Ava. So there you go, Ava. Anything else I can help with? Nope, that was everything she required to actually make a start on it. Brilliant. Well, I'm just going to let her get on with that, and in the meantime, I'm going to pop off over to Hell and see how they're getting on. Which the answer seems to be pretty okay, actually. We are only requesting in a piston for Corinne at the moment, and some more wheat. So they all seem to have their coral items and have been able to get on with their builds so far at least. There's one of our delivery men taking a piece of coral away right now. And the piston recipe is a nice simple one that we can simply teach to our blacksmith. And Charlie has just finished building our greenhouse apiary. Okay, I can maybe relocate some bees over to that then. How are you getting on with our dyer at the moment, Dean? You're doing a lot of jumping about. Oh, Charlie has picked up the tavern. Well, I'm going to assume that Dean is going to be fine upgrading our dyer build here, so let's go see what we can do to assist with the tavern. There is a lot to this build actually. There is quite a lot of items that are going towards it. A poisonous potato of all things. Well, she seems to have made a start on it at least, but I have seen in our open request list that I will need to teach the barrel horizontal to our sawmill operator here. But we also have a few different requests that I will now need to look at. The gate and the barrel are simple enough. The purple and yellow terracotta are going to be a dyer recipe actually. Well, they will be just after we upgrade our Dyers Hut, seeing as his recipe book is full at the moment. And our concrete mixer's hut should already know how to make our red concrete for us, just unfortunately we don't have any worker assigned in here yet. Alrighty then, back to the tavern, which to be fair, our delivery system does seem to be handling that mostly for her, so I'm going to go back to Heaven to see how we're getting on over there, which is also looking to be pretty much the same story. The delivery system seems to be covering it all. And by the looks of it, getting our shepherd those missing sheep seems to have corrected the issue within our open request list. Because Elia is nearly done with our dyer build, just one more red banner to go. I believe that Cyrus has completed the Fletcher at tier 4 and has moved on to upgrade the mechanic's hut, which again doesn't look that difficult to do. Andy has a bit of a wait here because there is a lot of slate items and shingles that she will need to wait on. And oh yes, Luella is doing our library here. Let's go see how she's getting on with it. Oh yes, she has definitely made a lot of progress here. Nicely done, Luella. And by the looks of it, our delivery system has her covered as well. Man, I love it whenever I don't need to do anything. I just missed it, but that is Elia now finished with our Dyers Hut to tier 3. So this is a tier 3 Dyers Hut, and here are all of the banners that have been causing so much issue today. But we'll get her straight out here and we will upgrade this to tier 4 as well. Well, after she's finished upgrading our mystical pagoda to tier 3 at least. That's an awful lot of concrete. Cyrus seems to have everything that he requires for a mechanic's hut, so he is making some tremendous progress with it. In fact, just a few more items in here and that's it going to be done. Good stuff, Cyrus. And our new concrete mixer Stephen is hard at work making a red concrete for us. So everything is just falling into place really nicely today. And good job, Cyrus. You have done very, very well today, my friend. Good job indeed. The Bathhouse's upgrade is coming along pretty nicely as well. We're now starting to get in these green slate shingles, and this is where those lily pads went from last time as well. This whole area is really, really looking nice. And speaking of nice, just beside it, our library is coming on a treat here as well. Luella is doing a fantastic job too. In fact, all of the builders have today. Tier 4 has really pushed them forward a bit, and they are definitely building with lightning speed. I mean, that Cyrus nearly completed the crusher at Tier 4 already. That's all of the items now in for him. At this rate, guys, we will definitely be aiming for Tier 5 a lot sooner than later. And Ava is certainly making short work of her tavern up to Tier 2 as well. Holy crap, things are just falling into place so very, very nicely today. But the majority of our Tier 4 builds are purely cosmetic, so they are being able to be completed a lot quicker. Like, ridiculously quicker. Here is our new Tier 2 tavern, which I will get Ava to upgrade to its final tier of Tier 3 after she's finished doing her university to Tier 4. Even here in Hell they're making a lot of progress. This is our new greenhouse apiary, which is nice. We will get the bees over to it eventually. I may need to remove those two things though. Just beside it is our Swine Herder's hut, which is nearly upgraded to Tier 4 as well as our Dyers Hut. Thank you very much, Dean. So that now means that I can finally come around and teach it these different terracotta colours. And the final build to be constructed today is of course our tavern, which Charlie has certainly made a lot of progress with. We seem to have a upstairs now, which is rather nice. That's not as nice. But that's her, just finished it there. So we now have a Tier 2 tavern down here in Hell. Absolutely extraordinary work here today, chaps. I am very, very proud of all of our citizens in both of our colonies. And as much as I would like to continue on here today, I'm already well over time. So, thank you very much for watching today's episode of MineColonies Heaven and Hell. And until next time, bye for now everyone. Bye bye.